Thermal Sound Wave.
It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio. Yep. We here, C-Truth, Kev Lawrence. Yep. We got a guest that's joining us right now. And he's from France? A place. No, he's not from France. He is from the Midwest. And he's from a place where you wouldn't normally shout out or think about when it comes to art and artists and stuff like that. But as we do on this show, we have people from everywhere that does good art, good music, good whatever, entertainment, the whole 9 yards. We have them on here.
Does a few things. All right.
Exactly. And right now, we got a brother that's coming out of OKC. You know what I mean? He goes by the name of J.French. What's going on, sir? What's up, Jay?
Yep.
That's
Hello?
OKC stuff.
Right? Yeah.
How you guys doing, man? What's going on?
Oh, everything's great, man. We just letting people know, where you're hailing from. So let people know a little bit about your background and what city you represent.
Oh man, I don't represent the city. I'm honest. I don't represent the city. I'm just honest like that. I live in Dallas, Texas currently, but I've lived all over. I lived in New York City. I'm originally from Oklahoma City. That's where I was born and mostly raised. And it's kind of like I haven't lived there since, really on a serious note, in a while. And I'm kind of I'm all over. Stayed all over, Austin, Texas, different places, my whole entire life. So I'm just I'm really just from planet Earth. That's it. I don't represent a single. The only city I own property in is Dallas, Texas.
Right. No doubt, no question. So you've touched a little bit of everywhere. So you have that influence from all over. You're like a military kid, even though.
Definitely.
But were you in the military though?
You said what again?
I said, were you in the military?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
No.
You said definitely not.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Hell no.
Gotcha.
I'm from the black military. I've been to prison.
Oh, okay.
I'm from the black military.
How productive.
Oh man. So the J.French, where does that come from?
J.French that's my real name, Jamal French.
Oh, okay.
I had the name changed in 2004. I had my name changed just so I could get my license, and when I was a teenager, and it was just easier. My mother's maiden name was French. My father's name is what I went by for growing up, and so when I changed it to French, I just thought French was a cool last name anyway, and I was like, so I just went by. When I started rapping, I started rapping really young, like 12 years old.
Now hold on, J.French, hold on. You changed your name. Now we gotta ask. Did your father have a problem with you changing your name? Like, you will give up my name for French because it sounds cool?
Of course he did. He had a problem with it, but he wasn't around my whole entire life. So it wasn't like I didn't care. It was a short conversation.
We'll jump off there. I was just asking because he was like, the name sound cool. I know that was my child. We got to shoot the fair one. Like, you're not about to drop my name because it sounds cool.
Yeah, I dropped it because it was easier to get my license with the last name I have now. Like my mother's maiden name was French. So they put that on my birth certificate accidentally.
Right.
And then they had his on my social security card. So throughout my life, like in the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s, then like people weren't checking for stuff like they do now. It wasn't as thorough of a check when you check it into school, so no one really knew my birth certificate said French on it.
Right.
So and then when it came time to get my license, everybody, we walked in there with a birth certificate that says French and a social security card that says Williams, and then they were like, man, you got to either change your social security card to French or change your birth certificate to Williams, and it'll be way easier to change your social security card to French.
Gotcha.
It's going to take us months to get. I'm like, I want my license now. But if we change the social security card to French, so that's what I ended up doing. and just going by French.
Exactly.
And then I was rapping after that, you know, and I just kept the name.
Right. Now, the publishing company that you started, that was at 12, or was that at a different age that you started the publishing company?
The publishing company I started at 27.
Okay, 27. Okay. Now,
27. Yeah.
Most people deal with that or find out about the whole publishing game and that whole sequence after they've had some issues with publishing. So what was your road to starting your publishing company?
Yeah, I went to school for marketing. So you know, it's different. I went to college for marketing. So, you know, I knew before I got into anything what the plan was going to be from the get-go and how to maneuver in it. I didn't jump in anything not knowing what I was doing. You know, I didn't know everything about the business, but I definitely knew I had to have a publishing company more than anything. You know, that was first and foremost, and then, you know, and have and put, you know, if you're an independent artist, then you have a publishing company. That's like that's like you signed yourself. You own your rights to your stuff, your mechanical royalties, all that kind of stuff. So it's you don't have to have such and such, a record label and do all of this extra signing to yourself. All you have to have is publishing.
Now, J.French, let's go back a little bit. You mentioned something to us that C Truth and I, Kev Lawrence, may know, but other people may not know. What do you mean by mechanical royalties? Is that like a machine, like of a car? What is that? 'Cause some people have no idea what that is.
Mechanical royalties come from every time your song is spun on broadcasting or played on anything, on any channel, any kind of internet, radio. These things come from that. Pandora even pays out mechanical royalties. Spotify, you collect Spotify royalties if you played on Spotify radio. If you played on any of this stuff, you collect mechanical royalties. Right. Mechanical royalties is just like the other royalty it's basically just the publishing royalties, you know. So anything that's public, anything that's in the public eye. If you get played at the Super Bowl, they play your stuff in between the plays or something.
In the arena,
a basketball game, in an arena, or anywhere. These are mechanical royalties that you collect. You know, so even YouTube, not just YouTube, but some YouTube channels they'll collect it. Facebook, you play it on Facebook, you get mechanical royalties. You play it on anything like that. TikTok, all that stuff, you get mechanical royalties from all that stuff. You know, so like publishing is like so important to that. People leave that money on the table, you know, and never collect it.
Yeah, and
they never correctly do the publishing right, you know.
Yeah, it's one of the most important parts of the income that you get from being an artist, because it's also a lifetime that it runs for, and generations and whoever you assign them to after that. So it just keeps going and going and going.
And it's so cheap to do it. I don't understand why anybody doesn't do it. They just don't know.
Lack of knowledge.
Yeah, the education is not there. They just don't. No one told them to do it. Yeah.
So you mentioned that it's so cheap to do it, yet how many years and decades do we still go with seeing these artists still talk about, I was getting robbed for my money? Like new artists, I think maybe Migos, other people saying the same thing too. It might be Migos, but it's like, how is it that all the books out? And shout out to Kashif. Come on, we had him on a program a long time ago. Rest in peace to him as well. He had that book, Everything You Should Know About the Music Industry. So him with books decades ago, a day and age where we have computers in the palm of our hands, and you still don't know how to do that. Is that like strategic?
Yeah, I mean it's I wouldn't say it's just a super strategic thing, but it's definitely it's a strategic thing for the labels to do. The labels have to, you know, I have a deal on the table right now to do a deal with Sony right now, and in the contract, I'm not supposed to like I don't have an NDA or some, and, it just is what it is. We're in bed talking, and they're good people. We just trying to find where we fit in with each other. But just for instance, if they were to sign me and they give me a certain amount of points on it, and they agree to pay for certain amounts of things, right? Like you could say right now, I didn't get my check from, I got this amount up front. They spent all this money on marketing, and then I didn't even sell the records for them. I didn't even have a hot song like that. They took a chance with me, and then I blew up, became famous, and I still ain't never received one check from them. And it's like, man, they gave you $350,000. Mm-hmm. They gave you $350,000. Now, this ain't the end of it. It's just they gave you that money, and then they put this amount of money into the record. And you had every feature in the world on it. You had Little Baby, the baby. You had all the babies on it. You had everybody on your record. And then you...
Oh, you said all the babies. What was it, a daycare?
Yeah, daycare. Shout out to those guys. Keep to those guys, man.
Right. Yeah.
So these guys, you had all these people on your record, and then you didn't get a check. You only sold a certain amount, right? And this is where the screw over comes in. Is when you sell a certain amount. Let's say you pulled off. Let's say you got so hot that you pulled off 75,000 records in 1 week, and then in the end of it, you sold about 120,000 records in a year span. Let's say that you pulled that off, and out of 100, if they're only paying you, if you only get 10 points, which is just 10%. Points is just percent. People say points trying to sound fancy, but if you got 10 points right on it, and you sold 150,000 records, you literally made $150,000. That's it. And this is where the screw over comes over. You got to pay them out of what you made, not out of what they made.
Right.
Not out of what they made. That's where the screw over happens. So it's screwed up right there. But on the same note, they invested all that money.
Yeah, it was essentially a loan.
Yeah, they invested all that money. Now, what if you only sold 20,000 records, which a lot of artists do today, by the way, because streaming is trash. It doesn't pay people anything.
No.
So,
no.
Streaming doesn't really pay much. It pays 0.03% of a cent.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Of a cent per stream. Yeah,
that's
They're
why
working on something right now to get a cent per stream. That'll be crazy. We'll be rich.
Yeah, that's why people like Mos Def and others is like, I'm not putting my music on no streaming platform when you giving me like less than a less of a less. Like, why would I do that?
Right. Of course, they're missing out on the carrot on a stick method that they're using. The carrot on a stick method they're using, is literally, hey, you get exposure though. You get people have easy access to your music at any point in time. Now, if it's only on your website, they gotta find you. But if it's on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Amazon, then they just got to find us.
This is why you can't really find Prince music like that on YouTube like that. It's not on there like that. Yeah. And people should wonder why. And you're right. At one point, when you hear somebody says, here's somebody, and they say, I have 80 million views on YouTube, so I'm making a lot of money. And it's like, then when you find out what the breakdown is, and it's like, for all that, you could have just sold it out of your trunk. Straight up, like you could have sold it out of your trunk and made more. 80 million views on YouTube. Look, check this out. A million views on YouTube equates to like $750. Times that by 80. What?
Yeah. Wow.
YouTube pays nothing.
That is a joke.
Cameron was said something about that. Cameron said something about that. Like, all you need, if you got a little bit of capital, sometimes you don't even need capital, but if you have a little bit of capital, you go to these independent spots and you could do what some people do, like one-offs. Like, perfect example, Cameron. He'll come out of nowhere with one song out the whole year, and it's like, that song gets out.
Just to stay relevant, right.
And they make their money all to themselves. So, yeah, they might not have the massive marketing behind it, but you can pay for your own marketing. You can pay your own marketing.
People do buy albums, and that's the crazy part. People do buy albums. I was number one on Amazon for 2 weeks before the album even came out. That's people buy your
latest album?
Right, on Good Karma. And I was top 10 on iTunes. You can't fake those numbers. People got to actually buy it. So it's not like Spotify where you can buy plays. You can buy plays on YouTube. Most people do that. It's a promo tool to make it look like you're popping more. But when you get them sales, when you number one on Amazon and you charting on iTunes, it's because people bought it. Right. So it's different. Like and people aren't selling that many records because they're not pushing the sales. Like for instance, Gunna's first week numbers on sales was like 4,000.
Wait, what?
Say what?
That's his first 4, week numbers on sales was like 4,000. That's it. And he got the best promo in the game.
And I have to say time out. I got to say this. Nothing against anybody like Gunna or whatever. People have no idea, but the label usually buys a large amount of your copies, of your sales. They do that. People don't know that they do that. They do that. So when you hear somebody say, I had 1 million sales, you probably literally only had about 500,000 sales.
Right.
Or 600,000. And because they bought the rest and then they flip it. They should have with the CDs, flip the barcode.
Well, CDs was different. CD era was a demand. There was a demand for CDs. Right. Because there wasn't no other way to listen to the music but on a CD. So if you just shipped 1 million, you was platinum. So that's the thing. If you just shipped 1 million,
which is very sad because Gunna had quite a bit of people on his project that seem like they're costly.
Right.
So that's like Drake. Strange.
Right. He's got Drake on his project. Of course, that right there is your whole budget. So it's like this guy Gunna. Let me tell you how smart his people are, his management is, which is 300 Entertainment, right? Tell you how smart Kevin Lyles is and his people. They know better. They put his album on his own website for $3 an album, $4 an album, $3 or $4 an album, and they sold it for that, right? And it's easy for them to buy it themselves when they do that. They were just trying to get. But he was number one on Billboard. He charted number one on Billboard because of the streams. Pusha P. They charted number one on Billboard with the album, the whole entire album, which is Drip Season 4. Drip Season Forever. And you said what? You said did it come with a handbag? That's hilarious.
Gunna, I'm sorry, Gunna. I be seeing you though, Gunna. That is a woman's handbag, bro. And listen, if that shit drip, then I'm dripless. But go ahead, man.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. No, this guy, not him, but when you speak on Gunna, you're speaking on his whole crew. So you're speaking on his whole management team. That's who Gunna is. Gunna's not sitting there pushing all the buttons themselves. No, Gunna is being an artist like he's supposed to be. But his management team is the ones pushing everything and telling them what to do. So he's with a label. He's signed. He's in the deal. He's not on some independent, came out independent with it. No, he's not. That's not where he's at. Let's be realistic here. Right. And so when we speaking on him, we speaking on his club, right? So the club he belongs to. Right. Because they're the ones pushing him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to J.French right now, artist, entrepreneur, and all that, man, here on the program, Thermal Sound Waves. Hit us up, 347-454-1278. Email us, thermalsoundwaves@gmail.com. And let everybody know where they can get your album, that's selling right now, that's moving some units?
Man, my album's everywhere. Just look up in the sky and then
just tell them what the name of it is and to go get it.
My album is Good Karma.
Good Karma. J.French.
Good Karma by J.French. It's the best album of the year for sure, hands down.
There it is.
I dare you to match me song by song with anybody. Promise you.
There it is. And we've been rocking some joints off of there, Forward, Staunch, and all that.
I see it. I see it too. I love that y'all doing it. I appreciate y'all for supporting the record.
And we was rocking joints off the last one too. So you definitely got some good quality music, coming through and all that. And I know we spent a large amount of time talking about business, which is, if you're independent like yourself, people out there need to understand that. They need to know that. They need to know what to do in situations so they can better handle their business in these days and times, and you don't really need those big machines and mechanisms all the time when it comes to that.
This takes a little more hard work than people are willing to put in. It takes really, I got to go on TikTok and respond to 1,000 people commenting and respond to every single comment, because you got to be in tune with your fans. They're not just buying your music, they're buying you. Yeah, I worked hard. I spent 7 months on that album. I'm talking about like a monk, fasting the whole time, had a therapist the whole time to make sure my heart and mind was in the right place. I spent all this time on this record, putting every single track together, doing everything myself. And it was so much work. I mean, blood, sweat, shed a tear damn near on every song, making every single track. And it was so musical, such a musical piece. You see me in a jamming with my band.
Now I was going to ask you about that real quick.
Yeah. And then it comes out, and then everyone's not paying attention to how much work you put in your album. They're paying attention to how many units you push.
Right.
And so they got to take that hat off, and you got to get into consumer mode, and you got to make sure you're talking to every single consumer that could even possibly consume your record. And you got to really text them and talk to them and be nice and be marketable and be real and be honest. And that's what pushes records. That's what makes people buy records.
Right.
People don't buy Drake's record like that. People buy the records that they feel like they in tune
connect with. Yeah, it's what you connect with. It's that experience that people really get into, and that's what makes great art and what makes great artists, when they can actually put those experiences out there and people can connect with it. Now, real quick, you are a musician as well. So what are some of the instruments that you play? Piano,
violin, trumpet, drums, different drums, like, all kind of different drums, just different stuff like that. I've been playing that stuff all my life.
No doubt.
Cello, I played cello. I played all, I used to play guitar, I can still slap some bass.
J.French does everything. He could tell you the plays who won the Super Bowl. Like he probably put those together too. No doubt. Now you've worked with Erykah Badu's band as well, right? And some people from TDE.
Yeah, I toured with them.
Oh, you toured with them? Okay.
I toured with RC and the Grits with Erykah's band. Not just them. Me and Erykah's sister was really, really close for a couple of years. And, she ended up robbing me for like 10 G's. Everybody takes advantage of independent artists.
Okay.
Everybody takes advantage of independent artists. That's just how it works.
So
me and Erykah was supposed to do some stuff together for my album Jag. She was supposed to do some promo for it.
That's that Dallas connection.
She robbed me.
That's that bag lady. Watch out for the bag lady.
Well, the bag lady, she didn't do anything. Erykah didn't do anything, but her sister she pulled some stuff off. And that's how it works in this industry. Everyone's trying to rob the independent artist. Everyone is. Everything is set up to rob the independent artist. You see people say, "Hey, pay to get on the show. Hey, such and such is performing. It's going to cost $2,500 for you to perform at the show." Like, what? It's costing me money to perform at your show and promote it? Like,
yeah, right. That's the education, the lack of knowledge again. Lack of knowledge.
Everybody's trying to rob the independent artist. That's the way it works.
Yes, sir.
There's so many things out there. Matter of fact, Spotify is making all this money off of robbing the independent artists. That's who they rob. And they don't rob the big artists.
And they pay it all to Joe Rogan.
Right. They don't care about they don't they don't really care they don't really care about just only the big people who get all the plays. They only care about them because they bring people to the platform. So if Drake's stuff is only to bring you to the platform, but they eating off of everybody because they have a deal with Universal. They have a deal with Warner, with Sony, to where Sony and Warner and Universal got their own playlists. Like it's impossible to get on Rap Caviar. Of course it is.
Right.
They own it.
Right.
Universal owns it. If you're not one of their artists, they're not going to be on their playlist.
Same game.
Like it doesn't make any sense, Like,
right.
Like why would they put you on their playlist with their artists that they paying millions of dollars to market?
The game is rigged.
It's rigged big time. So it's like it's not. So the biggest thing right now, and people looking at NFTs, like NFTs are going to be the savior of this, and it might be if we can get if we can get the applications to work properly. It might be the savior of this game.
Right.
The applications just don't work properly. It's very thrown together. You look at these websites where you can buy NFTs, they're just thrown together. I bought an NFT and I can't even find a way to listen to it correctly.
Wow.
So it's like they got to figure that part out.
Right.
In order for it to work, in order for the idea of NFTs to work, and it's developing, and a lot of people are invested. Yeah. A lot of people are invested, like Pusha T, Nas. A lot of people are invested in these NFT streaming sites that are coming that are going to be competitive to Spotify and stuff like that. So it's like it's coming.
No question.
There's a day coming.
Yeah, you got to do your own AAU out here. You got to do your AAU leagues.
Straight up. So compete. It's the day is coming where Spotify and Apple Music are going to have to compete with NFTs.
No doubt.
Artists can make a lot of money.
No doubt.
They're going to have to compete with that.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have to give artists more money, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to be competitive to get you to stick with putting it out through them instead of putting it out through NFT.
Unionize. There it is.
That's the way it's working right now. And NFT world, they're pushing it like crazy. Every time you look up, someone made $1 million in 45 minutes. Right. They pushing it hard right now.
Well, listen, Jay,
and that's who we are.
No doubt. Well, listen, Jay, man, we definitely gonna have you back. To talk about some things because as you can see, we could go on and on and on about some more different things that's happening with the business of art and just the art itself and all that kind of good stuff, man. But we run out of time right now, so definitely. Once again, everybody check that out, man. The album from J.French is called Good Karma. It's out everywhere. Google J.French. You know what I'm saying? Look them up. Get that. Amazon, iTunes, wherever music is sold. You know what I mean? Make sure you check that, man. Good Karma. There's some great tunes on there. Some things on there that apply to you. So make sure you check that out, man. We appreciate you being on the program and coming through.
I appreciate you guys.
Big up to
it's an honor.
No doubt, man. Big up to Dre over at Elixir Media Group, man, for making the connection and putting it all together. And definitely, man, keep doing what you're doing. And we definitely gonna see you on the other side. And when you in the tri-state area, northeast, you know what I'm saying, make sure you let us know so we can come check you at a show or something.
I should be there very soon. I got a big family that lives there, so my mother's from Queens. I got about 5 siblings that all live in New York City too.
Oh, that's what's up. Definitely.
All my little brothers and sisters live there too. All
definitely.
of that, so.
No doubt.
And I used to live there as well. I lived in Bushwick, in Brooklyn.
Okay, all right.
I lived in Astoria, Queens. This is as an adult,
No doubt.
I appreciate you. I hope I didn't sound crazy, sound bitter. I just tell it like it is.
No, you were giving that knowledge out.
Straight from the head.
You give that knowledge.
I shoot straight from the head. Yeah,
you probably saved a few people from going down a certain route because they had no ideas what mechanical royalties are and stuff like that. I know we laugh and we joke, but that's serious. People are still getting so-called robbed when it's your ignorance.
The artist,
it's your ignorance.
The artist's light is getting dimmed because of that. Because people don't feel like they can be artists. They feel like they have to be they feel like they have to be pop stars in order to be an artist, and that's not the truth.
Yeah.
You can be a pure artist. There's 3 different worlds. There's the pop world, the music world, and the street world. These are 3 different worlds. The pop world is who you know most about. The music world is who you listen to the most, and the street world is who has the most respect. These 3 different worlds. in the music, like you could live in the music world forever and make plenty of money and tour all over like crazy. And then the pop world is just who you know their kid's name. You know their kid's name. That's their pop star.
Right.
You know their wife's name. They're a pop star. You know, in the street world is who just has the most respect, and that's going to be city to city, local stuff. You know, that's the street world.
No doubt.
It's local, city to city. And so I'm just saying artists need to understand that they need to remain artists and never sell themselves out just to try to get in this game. It's not like that. Just if you do something great and you do it long enough, eventually it'll pay off. Wise words from Donda West.
No doubt. And on that note, we're going to leave it right there, man. Thank you once again, Jay, for coming through on the program today. We appreciate you.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
All right, bro. Peace. It's Thermal Sound Waves, the natural alternative to fast food radio.
Hey. Thermal Sound Wave.